Hi. Well, good morning. I'm Jan Wellicker, and I'm an artist. I make films. I have this really interesting ability to hold a lot of thoughts and feelings inside my head at once, and address none of them. One of my biggest inspirations of all time is this guy called Peter Beckdorf. This volatile director from Sabine, Oregon, I think. He was always throwing his camera just all over the place, whip pans and crash zooms, and well, there was one film, if I remember correctly, where one of the characters actually physically throws the camera to one of the other characters. It's very dynamic stuff. People critiqued him saying, well, there's no characters in here, or there's no stories in your movies. It's all just this crazy camera stuff. But I think the camera was his main character. His camera was his character. One of his most controversial films was it was called The Stolen Years, and it's about Ronald Reagan's failed presidential campaign in 1980, the first one. Beckdorf was absolutely devastated after that. I mean, this guy's been a hardcore conservative his entire life, and so he makes this sprawling film that he changes 4 or 5 times over the course of I think he shot it from 1981 to 1989. Just all about how the decade could have been great. What the conservatives lost. All the while, I think I think his mom and his dad went missing on a sailing trip, and his sister died when the house he bought her. The famous house he bought after Jackwell came out in, I think, 1976. Yeah, that house just fucking explodes. His wife, I think, divorces him. His studio falls apart. But he spends all of his time just on this monster of a movie. And, the movie comes out in, 1991. And, no one wants to tell him, hey, Reagan won both times. Sometimes I really do wonder about, the canon, right? Like all the movies that get really high praise, but Goodfellas, everybody loves it. Just really isn't my kind of film, It's about bad people who, do bad things, and I don't consider myself a bad person, so it doesn't really appeal to me. Oh yeah, I mean, exploring film internationally that's really where you open yourself up to a lot of great things. Especially for me, as a filmmaker who is from the United States, it's very important to acknowledge all of the great work that exists outside of this country and this country's film industry. You got all the great international directors, Andrei Tarkovsky, Sergei Bondarchuk, Vertov, and Eisenstein, and Kuleshov, who just really give you a perspective, And of course, there are plenty others who aren't just from the Soviet Union, of course. You got, just Jean-Luc Godard. Yeah, I mean, of course I have problems with my self-image as an artist. Just the other day, I was out on a walk and I saw some literal dog shit on the side of the road, and I thought, if I was really the artist I claimed to be, I would eat that. There was one time actually, what I guess I'll call one of my turbulent months, where I swore off of films and filmmaking just completely. And so instead that month I made a sculpture. It doesn't have a name, but it is basically Master Chief face down in a pile of weed that I smoked.